Take one. Hello, hello. Welcome to the I.F.A.T.S YouTube channel where the music lives on. I am your host, Pamela D. And with me today is a member of ours by the name of Miss Denise Bugs Williams. Denise, how are you? How you doing, girl?
I'm real good. How you doing?
I, 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 I'm doing very, very well. You feeling okay today?
Great.
Everything is cool?
Everything is cool. Just doing that schoolwork. That's it.
Is doing that
Other than
schoolwork.
that,
I
I'm
heard that,
great.
but we're going to leave all your schoolwork behind and we're going to talk about I.F.A.T.S. We're going to talk about you, your love of music, your influences, and uh, just in general, how do you see music today? What encouraged you or attracted you to join I.F.A.T.S? And we'll get into all of that. But Denise, let's do this. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Like you said, my name is Denise Bugs Williams. I am originally from Hackensack, New Jersey, born and raised. I am a combat vet for Desert Storm. I live in North Carolina now, and been blessed to have was able to build my own home and live life beautifully now. I'm just so happy what's going on. But going to college, trying to get my business degree, and that's about it in a nutshell. That's a short version of me.
Okay, so you're a veteran.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, how long did you serve, Denise?
7.5 years. I think it was 7 years. Yeah,
Okay,
seven.
7.5 years. And I know for me, when I was in the military, and of course it's before that, if you don't have your friends yet, at least you do have your music. Am I right
Exactly.
about that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good, good. Now let's first go into you joining I.F.A.T.S, Denise. What made
hmm
you join I.F.A.T.S? What attracted you? How did you even see the group?
I seen the group through a friend, and what attracted me to it was everybody's input and the music and stuff that I haven't heard before, stuff that I have heard before that I haven't heard in a long time, and just the comments about the different music that affected people. And that's why they put it on I.F.A.T. And it was just interesting to me. And then, I put my little twang on it because in my generation, funk was a big thing. And so when I heard some of the funk that was on it, I missed, I guess, I don't even know. I was like, oh my God. So it gave me some education. It really did on
Okay,
music and how people looked at music.
okay. Now let's go back to your earliest memory. Excuse me. Let's go
hmm
back to your earliest memory.
Okay.
When did you first realize that you liked music? Now, this could be based on your mother or your father influence, or both at the same time. But how did it come to be? Was there music always in your household?
Always. Always, everybody will say the same thing. When mommy told you to clean up, she put on James Brown or Aretha Franklin, and we got to clean it. Okay, but my mother and father loved music and they loved to dance. And I guess that got instilled in me. But having older parents, I started listening to music like Dizzy Gillespie, I can't even Lionel Hampton, Billie Holiday,
There you go.
Arthur Prysock, Joe Williams, Donna Washington. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. Then later on, it got James Brown, The Temptations, Gladys Knight and the Pips. It was just a lot of music in my family. and in my household.
Now, did your parents, I know you say you were from New Jersey. Where your parents originated from? Were they originated from down south, or were they from New Jersey as well?
Down south, my mom is from Charles City, Virginia, and my dad was from Saluda, South Carolina.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So by the time that they moved up to New Jersey, if you can recall, what were their lives like as far as music? In other words, who were they listening to at the time? You think they
Mhm.
would have been listening to at the time. You did mention some of the great jazz artists, however,
Mhm.
but what were the places in New Jersey? And what particular part of New Jersey was this? Was it Hackensack? Okay.
Hackensack, Passaic, Patterson, Lodi,
Okay.
Northern Jersey, close to New York.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what part of in those particular or specific areas you just mentioned, what was the happening nightclub? What was the night scene like? You know, what was that nightlife like? Because I've heard many stories regarding New Jersey and its nightlife.
Hmm. Okay, so my mom and dad, after my father came out of the military, because he's also I'm a military influenced person in my family. We all was in the military almost, but so when he got out, and you figure by the time he met my mom, maybe in the 50s, we're talking about doing. They were doing the jitterbug, you know what I mean, stuff like that. My father owned a few clubs, and
Oh,
he got to meet Dizzy Gillespie. He got to meet oh my God, the guy that played the piano. Oh my, Count Basie. He knew Red Fox. He knew Little Richard. A lot of these, Dionne Warwick. He knew a lot of these people because they came through his club when they were, not big and whatnot. And their music, like I said, was a lot of jazz back then, R&B, of course, but a lot of jazz because of a lot of these women and men was jazz. I don't know. I know R&B came out in the 50s and 60s with the Temptations and this and Marvin Gaye, but when my mom and dad was coming along, it was more like Dizzy, Lionel Hampton, Donna Washington, da 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 da, and we can go on and on. And but that's what I grew up on, and I think that's what they did until they got more into the 60s, middle 60s, and all that other stuff. And then other folks started coming out doing their thing, James Brown and everybody. So that was, and then being so close to New York, they were able to go over to the city and go to a place called Small's Paradise, where that was the thing to go there. And so, and then they met a lot of other folks in those genres. And those, let me tell you something. Back then, it wasn't where you had where a famous person had to hide or protect themselves. It's not like today where they have an entourage of bodyguards and all this stuff. Mama used
yes,
to tell
yes.
me any given time, Billie Holiday will come into a club and get to sing it. Same thing with any other of the artists. So it was a good experience to hear all that stuff.
I find that to be so interesting
Mm-hmm,
because a guy that I knew from the military, we became
mm-hmm,
friends afterwards. And when I moved to New York in Harlem, he used to say the same thing. You know, there was none of this big, hey, I'm walking down the street and I got all these 90 people around me. And I mean,
mm-hmm.
he used to know Billie Holiday as well. And I found that era to be very, very fascinating. Now, as with most parents, they tend to judge the music that is coming out around the time that you were getting older and understanding music. Did that happen with you? Were they talking about the music? What is that? Or did they actually embrace it?
My parents embraced a lot of music because for one thing, they embraced a whole lot of different things in the world because it changed all the time. And I'm so glad I had a mother that she was open to everything because us kids used to be in a house, and back then you played 45s or whatever albums back in the day. She would let me go to the store, which was called the Relic Rack. I'll never forget that store. and she used to let me pick out 45s that were popular at that time. So, like Rick James and Confunction, all them kinds. So, and she used to get up and dance with us.
Nice, nice, nice. Now, you mentioned a couple of artists. Who are your favorite artists, and what music are you most likely to listen to? I mean, you can like all genres, but which ones do you favor, and who are your favorite artists?
I love R&B.
Okay.
They don't have it much anymore, but I love it. Um, I love gospel music terribly. I love it. I have there's so many. I think more right now I'm into gospel music, but I like R&B, I like rap, some rap, old rap, Sugar Hill Gang, all of that. Um, so but my favorite right now is gospel. And some of the gospel people that I love is Jonathan Reynolds, uh I can name so many. Courtney Wilson, Brian Courtney Wilson. I mean, I could go on and on, but there's just so many that I like that it's hard. Mary, different people. But I love Jennifer Hudson. I
I'm sorry, I
like
didn't hear that last part. You love what, Denise?
Jennifer Hudson. I love
Oh,
her.
okay, thank you.
Um, what's the other girl from North Carolina? I can't. And she won American Idol.
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Okay.
Um, I mean, there's so many. I mean, because I listen to so many different artists, and I like them. Because sometimes somebody will come out with something. I'm like, they could have did a little better than that. But to me, all, to me, all I love all music. I mean, I even like some white artists because I know back in the day, uh, what is the average white band? Um, because I like funk. So, and they don't have that anymore. And I
No,
just
no, no.
love
It's
that
hard to
music.
identify it. If they do have it, you don't recognize it anymore.
I don't recognize. So, like when you're talking about funk, you're talking about Confunction, Larry Graham. I mean, there's so many that you
Oh
could talk
yeah,
about.
oh yeah. It's
And I could
endless. I
go
mean, even Prince. Prince is
Prince.
definitely funk.
Yes. So I'm eclectic when it comes to music because I even like opera, you
Okay.
know. Yeah. So it
One thing about I.F.A.T.S is that we don't play rap, but
right.
however, the page and its members, especially the team as well, likes rap, it respects rap, but it's just not the genre that we uh recognize as far as what we're trying to accomplish with the music that is forgotten about. Now,
Right.
one thing that's really, really fascinating about our group, even though we cater to a lot of music
Mm-hmm.
that favors R&B and funk, as you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
we do share gospel. Gospel can be shared on that page. So we definitely are able to cater to those that are not normally within a group like us. Opera, if someone shared opera on our
Mm-hmm.
page, it would not be taken down. It is
Mm-hmm.
music.
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
is music. As long as it was released within 2010 and before, we can accommodate you. We can
Right.
accommodate you.
And I like country music.
Absolutely.
And it has nothing to do with this new thing with Beyonce. No. I mean, I like Dolly Parton, George Strait. I can name so many people that I'm like, I like their music, and they got new artists. So it's just beautiful that I can and everybody else can relate to a whole bit different genres of music and enjoy it.
Do you think, because you alluded to it earlier regarding the status of R&B,
Mhm.
do you think that, I don't want to say our music, however, there's really no other way to put this, but do you
Mhm.
feel that R&B has died, or has taken on another level, or it's just, I mean, because when I hear R&B, I know I'm listening to R&B. If I hear R&B today, I don't know if I'm listening to R&B. It may be classified as R&B, but I particularly don't know or understand it. I think it's gone. What's your thoughts on that?
It's gone. But there's a few artists that's on like Sirius XM that you
Mm-hmm.
hear there that you don't hear on the regular stations. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really dead. It's just like down. Because and you know what else is going on? I see on YouTube there's a lot of white artists that going into R&B. I don't have a problem with that because they can sing. There's one guy called Teddy Swims, off the chart,
Yes,
beautiful.
I've
He
heard
can
of him.
sing. And then you have Alan Stone, absolutely, and soulful singers. So women back in the day, you remember we used to call Blue Eye Soul. So that. But as far as how it used to be back in the day, no, it's not. It's really
Okay.
not.
Oh,
And what they're calling R&B is hip hop.
yes, yes, yes. That's very true. Very true. Um, I am so protected of the wealth of music that we've had within R&B and soul music and music that is now considered a thing of the past and obscure. Now, the artists that you mentioned who are not
Mhm,
Black, they, for some reason, tend to have a bigger arena, if you will, bigger uh, a big amount of attention drawn on them because they can sing R&B or can sing like someone that we remember. And when you have an artist who is African American or Black, whatever your preference is,
mhm,
that sings R&B, for some reason, they're now sort of regulated to either neo soul, or
mhm,
they just don't get that type of they don't get that notoriety anymore. And I find that
mhm.
to be a little bit sort of strange. It's a double-edged sword. And I don't understand that phenomena. How do you see the state of music now, Denise? If you're a music lover, do you worry about it? Do you say, man, I don't even go to the music store anymore, or you really don't have to. You got YouTube, iTunes and all that. What do you think
Right.
is the state of music today, especially in
For
your genre?
for Black folks, it's lost. And for me, it's lost because they tend to go with the norm, like whatever's happening now. You know what I mean? I'm not saying everybody because I have friends right now that still listen to R&B. Matter of fact, in my car, I got the Groove channel, so it does nothing but 80s music. So, because that's my era, 70s and 80s, that's my era. So, um, but I do listen to other stuff. You know what I mean? But I think our culture has lost the meaning of different things that was music. Cause I'm with some friends that are younger than me, and I'll put some on. They say, "What is that?" I'm like, "That's music," but they don't consider that music because they're either 10 to 15 years younger than me. So by that time, 15, then they listening to neo soul. That's not R&B. R&B is Aretha. R&B is Gladys. R&B is Marvin Gaye. R&B is the OJs, the Temptations. You know what I mean? Even
Yes.
Shaka Khan. And I never forget. I never forget when they said something to Whitney Houston about she was in the other genre, which was pop, not
Yes.
pop,
Yeah,
but she
pop,
it was like
actually,
more,
they consider her to be pop, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to prove anything, but to me, she was soulful. To me, she was
Hmm.
R&B.
Yes,
But
yes. I see what you're
people
saying.
classed her as something different because of the music she sang. But she was the voice. And I don't know, ever since her, hasn't been anything. I mean, Cabrini, we said her name before. They live down here. Jennifer Hudson, she still tries to
Mhm.
do it. And the other girl that was on, we just said her name and I can't remember.
Fantasia.
Um, Fantasia. She tries to. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
you still got Joe, He tries to. Um, but I don't know where we going with this music. We losing our culture. We are losing everything that our parents and forefathers did, and we losing it to this crazy rap neo soul that want to talk about somebody's, you know, bodily stuff and what they want to do with it and how they want. No.
One thing about IFAS is that the music, the culture, if the culture is definitely has disappeared and we don't recognize it anymore, one thing you do is that when you tune into IFAS and share the music, especially when you see other people sharing music that you used to groove to, make love to, have fun to, it's still there. It's there, for us to listen to. And that's one of the
Mhm.
things I do love about I.F.A.T.S. Now, back to I.F.A.T.S, how many people have you gotten to know on a personal level? And when I mean personal, I don't mean intimately or anything like that. I mean, have you made many friends on I.F.A.T.S?
I can tell you, Pam, not really. Been so busy doing other stuff, not really. Not recently, no. I mean, I know you, but I mean, and that's my fault. I'll listen to some of this stuff, but I don't get into the writing and, putting down what I like and stuff. I'll put a like or something like that. But no, and I feel bad about that because I can learn a lot more about music and how people feel, because that's the main thing for me is like, I might not like your artist that you put out there, but if you tell me something about him, then I have a new idea about that music and about that person. So I got to get better.
Yeah, you know what? Everyone has lives. We're all busy.
Mhm.
We work, and if we even if we're retired, there are still other things that do occupy our lives, and this
Mhm.
is really totally for enjoyment. And of course, on a personal level, whatever the person may get out of it. But I can understand, that you are not able to get on every single day or even every week. We have dedicated members who aren't able to
Mhm.
be on
Mhm.
as often as they would like, but when they get on, they are jamming. They are jamming.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you how old I am when it comes to stuff and saving music. I still have an iPod.
What is that?
An iPod.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, I remember the little ones too. Oh my gosh, Denise.
And it
Oh
has
my
over
gosh. Oh
800.
wow.
Yes, it has over 800 songs and different kind of songs. I got rock, I got jazz, I got gospel, I got funk. I have so many things on here. It is crazy. I love this. If I ever lose this, I'm gonna have a fit if I ever lose this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yes, this
That is
is the
very
bomb.
interesting. That is very interesting, Denise. It really is. Uh, Before we go,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know it's always fun talking to you when you and I do converse, and you and I have often had discussions, and I mean discussions where it got kind of heated about
Yep.
music. Do you remember those days? I mean, really, and this is just letting the audience know how much you do know about music, how much music does encapsulate you and encapsulates us as friends. What I
Mm-hmm.
want to know is if if there was one song that you were given or had the opportunity to choose, I should say, what one song would you listen to out of all the songs that you know? Now, I know this is hard. I know it's
No,
hard,
and
but what music would it be that you would be listening to?
you mean person
Yeah,
or
yeah.
music?
If you had one song, or you can say whatever song you want, you have to have, or you want to listen to, or I mean, people have even said what they want played at their funeral.
Oh
What
Lord.
song would what song would you want? If you had one opportunity to select one song, what would it be? To do anything now. But you're given that opportunity, you have to choose one song.
No, I'm gonna choose it. But I got so many, but I want to choose the one that hits my spirit the
Yes.
best.
Okay. Okay.
And it's not R&B and it's not jazz.
Whatever it is.
It's called Still, Still,
Okay.
by Brian Courtney Wilson.
Okay.
This song, when I first heard this song, I was in my car. I started crying. I mean, tears just running down my face. And it was because of the words, how he
Uh-huh.
sang it, and my journey in life. It, wa- it was like a stronghold. It had something for me to hold on to, the words of what he said. He says he has a lot of songs that touch me because it seems like went through the same things I went through in life. So that is one song. It's called Still. I mean, there's a lot more, but that one hit my spirit right now to say that. Yeah.
I can see that. I can see the impact it has
Yes.
on you. Well,
Yes,
Denise,
ma'am.
it
Hmm.
has been so real. I want to thank you for taking the opportunity to spend times with to spend time with I.F.A.T.S and where the music lives on. We do hope that you will find it in your busy schedule to
In
visit
my
us
business.
sometime. And I want you to know again, it is such a real pleasure to speak with you as it has been with all of our members. So thank you so very much. And
No, thank you, Pam, for even asking me. It was a privilege and an honor to even do this with you. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And I want you to have a beautiful day.
You too.
Okay. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye bye. Take one.